everybody, Son Goshuaku here to review Dragon Ball DAIMA Episode 11 titled Legend. Alright, so Episode 11 kicks right off with Panzy noticing that Neva, the ancient Namekian, is coming towards their ship. And from there you see he's in shadowy darkness as he's coming into the light, and he's coming closer, and he's here. And everyone gets out to go ahead and greet him and see what's up with this old Namekian. And it's from here that as the whole cast is basically looking at him, he begins to start acting all senile and start dancing around. And you see right there, you got Gomah and Degesu. They're looking and paying close attention to the second demon realm. Of course, they should probably be looking at their own demon realm because of what Dr. Arinsu is up to. And he is getting angry because, yeah, his plan did not go according to what he was hoping for. And yeah, that is the part right there where Neva begins to notice that they have a Dragon Ball in that bag, and he's taking a close look, and you see Glorio always forever on guard, and that's where he starts dancing around and acting senile. And Vegeta has a great line here where he basically ends up going ahead and just getting angry, and he goes like, "He's senile, let's get out of here, forget him, let's get going," you know. Because Vegeta's got no patience for any foolishness already. And it's here, actually, Piccolo that steps forth to him and basically recognizes him that you're the ancient Namekian of legend, Neva. And from here, he stops acting senile and he starts getting more serious. And right here, interesting enough, Neva, he ends up mentioning that he remembers him as Katas, who is basically the ancient Namekian that came from the demon realm into the living world. And as we know, that's the story, of course, where Kami, that's when he split from two people. So as it was called, Katas was the original ancient Namekian that came from the demon realm, split into two. Thus we got Kami and Piccolo DAIMA. And then from there, of course, Piccolo DAIMA, when he was defeated by Son Goku, spit out the egg, and thus came Piccolo Jr., the Piccolo that we all know from Dragon Ball Z. And then when Piccolo refused with Kami, it's sort of like them becoming one again. That was later in the Cell Saga. So yeah, that was really cool seeing them tie that in once again from that was what we found out like in early episodes of Dragon Ball Z and then second half of the manga. And so from there, basically, yeah, that's when, you know, Neva said he remembers, and Piccolo was like, basically, yeah, that was his father and everything. And we're just getting a lot of good conversation here between the two of Piccolo and Neva. And this is where he starts asking the plan. Yeah, Piccolo's wondering what happened here in terms of why they ended up as kids. And this is where Neva starts snitching and basically reveals right here, as you can see, that yeah, it was back in like what episode 1 that Gomah wished to Shenlong that everybody who was friends or whatever dealing with the defeat of Majin Buu be turned into kids, because he thinking that would make them a lot weaker. But of course he was surely mistaken, obviously, and Gomah is livid because he's like, "You old snitching little green elderly man." So yeah, he caught him, I don't know, what is this, like 8K, 20K or something? He's called Neva snitching. And Piccolo, he's concerned because he's like, well, you know, what if they would have killed Dende? And this is where Neva reveals that Namekians are too valuable here in the demon realm to be killed. So that's the reason why he knows he can snitch and get away with it. So I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, they bring up about how back again in episode 1, how Neva ended up kidnapping Dende, leaving them, you know, he was a baby there. And that's where basically, you know, I guess Piccolo has learned, yeah, that they're too valuable. And Son Goku ends up dropping the knowledge that they're going to get the second Dragon Ball. And Pansy's like, wait a minute, if you created the Tamagami, because she ends up realizing that you must have created the Tamagami since you created the Dragon Balls, you could have taken over the entire demon realm and become the supreme demon king. And this is where Neva mentions that yes, he could have, but he chose not to, because Namekians should use conflict, settle conflict with peace, not with, you know, fighting. And this is the point where Son Goku's looking at Piccolo. Vegeta and Bulma, aka Boma, looking at Piccolo, and Piccolo's like, he's like, well, stop looking at me, you all, because everybody knows Piccolo has solved many problems in Dragon Ball using violence. You gotta go. By the way, gotta give a shout out to the English dub voice actor Nassim Benelkor, man, because he is going to definitely knock this out of the park. Can't wait to hear this, because this is the most time we've heard of Piccolo talking in Dragon Ball Daima, so definitely looking forward to that for the dub coming out, which of course will be I believe in January 10th on Crunchyroll and Netflix and stuff like that. And so basically Glorio's like, yeah, let's all get going here, and Neva's like, please take me with you, and you know, Panzy's like, we got no more space left. You know, they took everything they had just to try and squeeze Goku, Nahare, and Glorio in there and stuff. And this is where Neva reveals, well, do you have anyone that speaks the Namekian language? Because you're going to have to use that language in order to summon the Dragon Balls and make your wish. And this is where Bulma, aka Boma, she's like, oh, that's right. It's just like Porunga. When it comes to the Dragon Balls on there, they needed Dente in order to make their wish. And this is where Son Goku, rightfully so, asks Piccolo, hey, you speak the Namekian language, because after all, Piccolo did fuse with Nell, who spoke the Namekian language, and I believe going back to the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, Piccolo also in early Dragon Ball spoke Namekian to Kami when he was basically in disguise as Shin. And so rightfully so, when you look at all that back in the history of Dragon Ball, yeah, Piccolo should definitely know how to speak with this language, at least definitely after he fused with Nell. And so Piccolo's response to this is, I spent too much time on Earth, so I never really learned language. I wonder if a lot of you out there that are longtime Dragon Ball fans are just as confused by this as me. Like, what were you speaking back in the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai? Even if Kami didn't have the knowledge, when you fused with Nell, he was clearly someone who certainly knew how to speak the Namekian language. Did that mean Nell didn't know how to speak the Namekian language? I think, ladies and gentlemen, God bless his soul, we love Akira Toriyama, but we may have just found another issue where Toriyama had forgot. It is a part of Dragon Ball. Toriyama known to forget things, and yeah, so it's unfortunate, but hey, that's one of the things we know about Dragon Ball. So a really bad oversight there. You know, it just, wow. Like I said, if nothing else, he fused with Nell. Now we know 100% knows how to speak Namekian. So it is what it is, unfortunately. But we still love the great late Akira Toriyama. Rest in peace. And so we continue on with Glorio, basically like, all right, well, you know, let's bring him on then. And Neva, he's on his way, and he's like, yeah, we gotta go. And Goku's like, yeah, okay, let's bring him on. So we get to the third demon realm, which looks like it's just an empty void in the sky. And yeah, we're zooming in on here. So there you see a very, very disappointed Dr. Arensu after that epic fail of Majin Buu getting owned and outclassed by Tamagami number 1. And so we've got Marba here mixing up something new. And so basically, they're basically concocting that they needed more of the essence of Majin Buu in order to create a more powerful Majin Buu. And so from there, this is where you know, he's basically yeah, he's getting all hyped up over this Majin Buu, and she's like, no, you don't earn the right to speak. You disappointed us terribly. Dr. Rensu basically giving him that. And so they start talking about as far as this new Majin Buu. They're going to use more of the essence. So this is the remaining essence of Majin Buu that they're going to go ahead, and there you see Marba, she throws it into basically her mixing potion here and everything, and it starts bubbling up pink, and a big light, strong pink light comes out basically all over to her whole house, and you see Majin Buu's like, lie. He's amazed because he's like, he gets to see, it's like, if you're a kid and you're wondering where babies come from, and then, you're a little older, and then now you get to see your siblings being born, like, oh, this is where babies come from, right? So I guess that's kind of what it's like for him. And then there you see Dr. Adorensu, she is confident again. She is super confident there that this is gonna work, and you can see it right on her face, like she's like, oh, it's working this time. And so they grab the next Cyberman seed, and here Marba says we're gonna go 10 centimeters this time in terms of how burying it into the soil, because that should make Buu a lot more stronger. And so Dr. Rensu says this time we'll actually do 20 centimeters because that should get the job done. We have got to make sure that he is a lot strong enough to take on Tamagami number 1. And Marba is like, she's like, no, we can't do that, because if we do, this thing might become uncontrollable, which makes me wonder that going back to the original Majin Buu, aka Kid Buu, they must have buried him like somewhat 80 hundreds of centimeters down there into the soil, and that's why Buu was such an uncontrollable killing machine. So we get right there, and there you see, this is where Majin Buu starts getting super excited, because he's like, wait a minute. He says, does this mean I'm gonna have a brother? I always wanted a brother, even though he's been like, what, maybe an hour or so old now? And Dr. Arensu just not having any, she's like, shut up, this doesn't even matter. What does that even matter right now? And she's like, let's get this show on the road, because she's got that confidence going for this this version of Majin Buu. She is confident. Do the cool zoom in to her eye, because she's just this confident that this is gonna work for sure. So then we get back into the demon realm too. I'm loving the cutbacks between the multiple demon realms. It definitely makes the whole story move a lot more faster pace. And so there you see Neva is now in there, and I think we need to applaud Neva. Our elderly Namekian here, who actually, I gotta be honest, I thought was evil because I thought he was a complete jerk in the beginning, but I guess he was just doing this as a way to save face from not getting any harm, even though he says there's not going to be much harm given to the Namekians because of their value. But clearly from here, Neva has finally taken a shower, because not one person complained that he stinks. And you got, speaking of complain, you got Hibiscus here basically saying his butt hurts because I guess they got him sitting on the edge of the seat. And basically right here, Piccolo's like, well, you gotta make do, because at the end of the day, there's just no more space. We got everything else for cargo and stuff. And so Boomra, aka Boma, she asks Neva if that means that this means he is the only Namekian left here in the demon realm. And Pansy's like, yeah, it must get pretty lonely. And he's like, yeah, he said he loves it here, and it does. And from here, I think it's Nahade, aka the East Kaioshin, aka the Supreme Kai, is wondering, why don't you go back, basically? Or I think it was it why he created the Tamagamis? Yeah, that was it. I think this is where it came, why did he create the Tamagamis? And so he explains that back in the day, and obviously you can tell way back in the day, basically, as he explains to everyone, and we get these really cool animation shots zooming in through the first demon realm, and there you see the 3-star ball, and then we are zooming through the sea, which is basically what the second demon realm is, and then you see, of course, the empty void of the first demon realm, and that's where that is. And from here, he basically, through this, is explaining that for generations, basically, there were people trying to take the Dragon Balls and use it for evil, and it was just getting out of control. And so that's where he took it upon himself to create the Tamagamis, making them much stronger than almost anything that the Majins in that realm could take on. And as a result, this made it a lot harder to get the Dragon Balls, and a lot easier to make sure that they weren't being used for evil. And so that's really cool to hear that lore as far as why the Tamagamis are in existence. And I think this is really cool because, it goes back to the Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility. And even though Neva could have used his powers for evil, he used it for good here. Like you said, with the power of the Tamagamis, he could own the entire demon realm, but he doesn't use it for that, as he wants to keep the peace. So I thought that was a pretty good, strong message. I'm going to take a sip of water here to continue on. All right, so from there, as we continue on, Son Goku basically starts complaining again, about, I think, was it the space or whatever, and Hibiscus is like, yeah, you know what, we already sacrificed enough just to bring you on board, you ain't got no reason to complain. And Vegeta's right here, he's like, by the way, I'll be the one to take on the next Tamagami. And Goku's like, no fair. Because he's like, I want to face the Tamagami. So Goku trying to just take up all the greediness with the fight, even though he fought. And Vegeta's like, how's that not fair? He said, you already fought one. And so Goku goes ahead and asks Neva, said, hey, can anybody take this on at multiple, like, would multiple people take this thing on at any time? Or can anyone take on the Tamagami? And Neva says, sure, yeah, anybody can take on the Tamagami, but it has to be one-on-one in order to get the Dragon Balls. And Goku's like, oh, and Vegeta's like, ha 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 ha. And Goku right there, disappointed, realizing this has got to be a one-on-one fight. And so Neva basically is just shocked. He's like, you two actually want to fight the Tamagami? And from there, Nahare, he ends up telling him like, oh yeah, they love fighting. And so you see right there, Goku looking disappointed, Vegeta smiling, like, this is like very kid, like, you know, when you know, your mom is like, you know, like, one kid's like, hey, can I get another cookie? Yes, but you already had a cookie, so you'll have to wait tomorrow. He can get a cookie because he never got one. Aw, and Vegeta's like, except this is what fighting, right? So I love it. This is great comedy. And so there we go. The portion, the boiling water is going up there. As Marba Poi basically puts this in. This is where she mixed up Majin Buu to come on out, and she of course tells Arensu she has to go ahead and basically drop another loogie, aka spit saliva, into this thing. And so there you go, Arensu going ahead and spitting into the potion there, and then for whatever reason she starts licking her chops and stuff and everything. So I once again, I think maybe Arensu enjoyed that a little too much there. And so we get this cool pink explosion right here, far in the distance, and right here, Majin Buu is making sure that the measurement is right. About 10 centimeters is where they're trying to go for this thing. And so Dr. Arensu is like, all right, we know this should work, so go ahead and put in the Cyberman seed and everything. And so I think, was it, oh, actually, it was this portion, I think I forgot. Yeah, it was this portion where he was like just being awkward looking at it and realizes that, hey, this is going to be my brother, right? And so she's like, Arensu just can't believe that this is what he's asking. And basically, like, she's like, yeah, sure, I guess, and everything. So he's super happy about this, and she's like, literally, this does not matter right now. And so he buries the Cyberman seed in there, you know, covers it up with the soil, and Marba is completely nervous about this. She is sweating bullets because she's thinking this is going to make this new Majin Buu too uncontrollable. But basically, there you see Arensu. She is basically ready. She's like, no, this is going to work. And she yells out, Majin Duu! So that's basically going to be the new Majin's name. And then basically, she tells Majin Buu to get the water. He goes ahead and puts the water in there, and then they basically step back, and you start seeing this thing glowing, and it starts boiling up in the soil, and it goes in the air, and then boom, this thing is coming out. I have to say, for all the flack that Majin Buu's design get and Majin Duu, I think the transformation in terms of how they come in existence is really cool looking. That is on point. And there you see steaming out of the soil here, and the dirt starts drying, and there we see a hand. Then here you see Majin Buu is ecstatic, and then we see a head, and there you also see that Dr. Arensu, she is ecstatic as well, and there we see the first look at the legs, and there we see a very chubby looking yellow greenish Majin Buu. And Arensu, she's happy. Marba is not. And we see, once again, this Buu, it zooms into the face, he turns around, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the new, extra new, super improved Majin, and maybe I should say improved Majin Buu. And you see Dr. Arensu, she's like, oh, she's shocked. And there you go. All right, so looking at this design, all right, I do like it. actually. I like it better than Majin Duu's design. Though now that I got a better understanding of what Majin Duu or Majin Ku is, hey, shout out to Phantom Flame. Thanks for joining the chat. Majin Duu, yes indeed. So Majin Ku, I have a more appreciation for his design now that I kind of know more of what he is. But right off the bat, this to me, this design, this is a Majin Buu design. Now I can look at this and tell this is Majin Buu. Majin Ku looked so much more like a Saibai. This right here looks like Fat Buu fused with Kid Buu, with a little bit of Janemba, the first form, stacked in there, and I guess maybe a little bit of the second form given the purple. And I love the black eyes with the red iris and everything. So once again, like this feels like a Majin Buu character. Obviously, nowhere near the iconic Fat Buu, Super Buu, or Kid Buu forms, but nonetheless, I can look at this character and I think like, yes, I see the Majin Buu influence there. So he basically lets out a big giant yell, very similar to what Kid Buu did, and it's sending sound shockwaves and stuff like that. And there you go, Majin Ku, or Majin. I gotta remember Ku and Duu. Dooku. I guess it might be a Star Wars reference because Toriyama was a big Star Wars fan. So there you go. And obviously with Buu, Ku, Duu. Obviously what Boo Doo Doo. Ku basically meaning ASS in Portuguese, so obviously Toriyama was always such a master pawn. And right here, yeah, he starts off by bending over and shaking his butt, so very awkward behavior you're getting from these Boos. And Dr. Degesu, she's not sure what to make of this, and so is Marba. And so for all you Dr. Slump fans out there, my understanding is that this is a Dr. Slump reference because Majin Ku is the first, or oh gosh, I'm trying to remember which Boos is which. Majin Duu, he goes ahead and shouts out Nichan. Oh man, could also be a pun on sound effects too. There it could be. Thank you for telling me that, Phantom Flame, in the chat. And so right there you see Dr. Arensu's eyes basically just getting huge. I love, even though they're villains or bad guys, bad gals, or antagonists, they're silly as well. So they go like for no reason, Nichan. Oh my gosh, I love how silly Dr. Arensu is at times as well. And it's like they have no idea why they're doing this. And then, basically, so the first thing that Majin Duu wants here is basically a chocolate bar. So obviously, more of the essence of Fat Majin Buu was used here. So this was hilarious right here because Dr. Arisu couldn't believe that's his first request. And so she's like, "You got any chocolate hanging around anywhere, Marba?" And Marba's like, basically nodding her head like, I don't keep no chocolate around here. And so Majin, I love these characters already, man. This is classic Toriyama humor. A shout out in the chat. We got Charles Scott. Thanks for joining the chat here. I see Phantom Flames and possibilities. Charles says, just sad do, just say, I think you said just say sad do or Ku and just drop the E. Majin, and everything. Yeah, I mean, do Ku, like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to keep up with all these different ones. But yeah, so Majin Ku here basically says, hey, give me some money and I'll go to the next store, the nearest store, and grab some. And so he runs off in a very Arale type of way from Dr. Slump, and as soon as he leaves, he ends up coming back, and that quick was able to buy himself a new chocolate bar, and basically stops right here. And the way they interact here, he's like, here, you can have a chocolate bar, and Majin Duu basically swallows this thing whole, and then Majin give me a break of that Kit Kat bar or whatever. I guess if this is the Demon Realm Kit Kat bars. So Majin Ku ends up breaking it, but if you notice there, look at that. he got the smaller piece out for his little brother here, and he hands it over and says, "You can have that one." And Majin Duu is like, I'm taking this, yoink. He eats the bigger piece, and Majin Buu is completely angry about this, and Harensu and Marva cannot believe what they are seeing here. And he's like, but at the same time, Majin Buu's like, I always wanted a brother to fight with. Once again, even though he's been an hour old, like, I don't know how much it takes an hour to really want to. I feel like 1 hour in, you'd be still discovering what the world is about. What does it mean to have a sibling? I don't know. So from here, I want to call him Fat Majin Buu almost here, but yeah. Here we get Majin Duu. Basically, he goes ahead, takes a big old boom, and tries to go ahead and swallow his bro's arm whole. And they're just fighting over this whole thing, and he gets his arm out. And here we have our very playful brotherly love between Majin Buu and Majin Duu. Yeah, this was fantastic comedy stuff that Akira Toriyama would definitely give. Let's see what the chat's saying here right now. Let me see. Yeah, I can go ahead into the chat. We got some stuff saying here. Just let's see. Majin he said the joke comes full circle. Ku 1, Arensu 0. Evil little brother. He betrayed the food bond, but this is also the way. There you go. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get back to the action here. Well, we will get to plenty of action later, but yeah, so after getting his stomach full, Majin Buu Majin Buu's angry. Majin Duu said, "What do you want me to do?" And so Arensu's basically like, "I want you to take on someone called Tamagami #1. And Marba's like, "I think this work." And Dr. Arensu's like, "I'm not sure." And so we cut away to the second demon realm that basically looks like Planet Namek. All right, so everybody is knocked out because I think that's what Son Goku was complaining about earlier, is that it's taking too long in this ship and everything. And so, yeah, everybody is knocked out but Piccolo. And there you see they're arriving towards the island where they're arriving towards the island where the second Tamagami is. So you can feel the anticipation boiling here, because I know a lot of you like me out there have been waiting to see Vegeta get into action. So we get a look at this cool planet, and there he is, Tamagami #2, basically a close-up shot, ready to fight whoever does battle with him. And then we go back to the demon realm 1 here, basically the first demon realm, and there they are. They are ready to confront Tamagami #1. So I'm loving the back and forth shots once again, seeing how everyone's on their own separate journey to get these Dragon Balls. And so Majin Duu comes up and he's like, "Hey, you're Tamagami 1. I want to fight now." And then Tamagami 1 like, "Okay, you want to step up to me?" And he looks over to Dr. Arensu, and she basically nods her head like, "This is the one." And he's like, "Okay." Actually, what's funny is Majin Buu does a lot of speaking in English, despite this being the Japanese version. He probably says more English words than I think I've heard any of the other characters. So yeah, he does a lot of "okay" and "thank you." And shout out to the voice actor. I wanted to say Fukutsugu Ochiai. I probably butchered that name, but yeah, I thought he did a fantastic job as Majin Duu, and as Majin Buu as well. Tomika Siki. I thought he does a great job as these new Majin characters. And so there you go. We get the look, Tamagami #1 ready for battle again. And there we have Majin Buu stepping up. And Majin Duu stepping up. Majin Buu is basically is basically ready, just basically, showing support for his brother here. And there you go. He's starting to flex and all that stuff. He's ready for battle, having no idea what he's getting himself into. And Dr. Arensu, she's not looking as confident. And there you go. Right there. Look at something like that staring at you with that big sword. Tamagami 1 is so nonchalant. He is not here to play. He is ready. And he's like, "Come on. Come at me, bro." And so right here, start cueing the Brock Lesnar theme. Din, 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 dun, 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 dun. And he starts doing the whole Brock Lesnar dance for those of you who are WWE fans. So Tamagami's like, I'm not gonna be scared by this. What you got? And so they're looking like, what is he doing? So Majin Duu just starts jumping all the way up in the air, and he's basically jumping even higher. We're like, okay, what's bro got planned here? What's he gonna do? And then he stops himself midair, and right off the bat, here you go. You got Tamagami 1 already. He had such a stoic face, but we're already Tamagami 1's kind of got a little concern on his face. We're like, okay. And so Majin Duu pulls one out the Kid Buu box and does that spinning in Super Buu as well, the whole spinning thing. So we've seen this right here, and he goes right into Tamagami 1, and boom, Tamagami 1 ends up capturing Majin Duu and ends up going ahead and spins him basically right into the wall, very similar to what he did to Majin Buu, but Duu is able to go ahead and basically use his back to project himself back onto the attack, and he goes right towards Tamagami 1, who once again ain't looking so confident. And then from there he stops himself in midair, and it's very hard. Tamagami 1 can't figure this guy out. It's hard to read. And there you see, Buu goes in for a punch, and then he teleports or uses some super speed to go to the side, and there you see right there, Tamagami 1's like, what the heck is going on? And then right there you see how fast Duu is, and he goes right here and boom, kicks him with some sweet chin music. For those of you who are Shawn Michaels fans out there in WWE, gets this guy right in the eye. Oh, he actually landed a shot. So right off the bat, Buu has come to play. Right off the bat, Duu has come to play. Duu is landing more than what Buu did in the last fight. And there you see, basically right here, he goes ahead and flies off the frame, flies in the air, and then from there, he basically is flying, and there you see Tamagami 1 is on the chase, so he's got Tamagami 1 chasing him down, and then he starts going ahead and turning into a ball, and right here, what the heck is about to happen? You see, once again, Tamagami 1 is confused. What is he gonna do? And boom! Oh, for you WWE fans, he broke out the rear view! He broke out Naomi's, one of Naomi's signature moves, who does the rear view, where when the wrestler is running towards him, she ends up basically jumping in the air, does a split in the middle of the air, and the wrestler will basically land face first right into her butt crack and get knocked out. I'm like, holy crap, somebody on the DAIMA team, as I've always been mentioning, must be a wrestling fan. So right here, he's like, I guess he's like half his forehead stuck in his butt crack. This is classic Toriyama, my gosh. And there you see Tamagami 1 is just completely I doesn't know what to make of this. Thankfully, he looks like he doesn't have a nose right there. And so Tamagami 1 basically has Tamagami 1 has been stunned by the butt crack of Majin Duu. And then right here, Majin Duu goes in for a kick. Boom! Kick right into where the Dragon Ball is. Once again, landing a third shot on Tamagami 1, and then he's still stunned, and then boom, headbutt right to Tamagami 1. Like, Tamagami 1 is just having no answer. He has no answer for Majin Duu. So I'm like, okay, Majin Duu is the real deal here. And then from there, Tamagami 1 takes his sword and he starts swinging that thing, and he goes in, and boom, no, Majin Duu has been able to do a split and basically avoid the shot, and he lands on his hand. Like, holy crap, he's got time to just land on his hand. Like, right now he is embarrassing Tamagami 1. He is making Tamagami 1 look like the jabroni now. Like, this is incredible, coming off of last week's episode when he fought Buu. And so he bounces off of him, does a whole spinning deal, and he's like making some distance, and then he starts doing that huge sound wave, and right there you see they are both shocked, and now they are happy. They're like, okay, Majin Duu has got this. And Tamagami 1, now he's trying to figure out, and he shoots a ki blast over him. And I love this. Once again, this is classic Majin Buu. It goes into the complete blast, and he was able to evade it by putting his head into his body. This is what Kid Buu did in the battle with Son Goku when he was Super Saiyan 3. And so then he pulls himself back up, and this was pretty funny here because you see his head tentacle ended up getting burnt. And so this is where Majin Duu decides to like rub off the burnt smear, whatever, on his head tentacle, and he starts realizing, like, he's looking at his hand, and he's like, I could form this thing as well. He says it's a ki blast, and so Majin Duu blasts himself in the face. And realizes he can do these ki blasts as well, and then he shakes off the burnt mark. He's like, "Whoa!" So very much once again playing. This goes back. If we all remember, the Fat Majin Buu learned the Kamehameha wave just by watching Son Goku do this when they fought, and then Kid Buu himself was also able to learn the Kamehameha wave, and was even able to learn the instantaneous movement from back when what was it? When he blew up planet Earth for Goku and Vegeta during that time. So that was really cool. And they are completely amazed. Like, they're shocked, but they're happy at the same time that, okay, glad he's on our side. So now we start getting some close-ups of Tamagami number 2 as we go to the demon realm here, and he is ready to fight. And there we go. Our heroes have arrived to the island. Let me check and see what's going on in the chat. We said, let's see, the joke comes full. Oh yeah, let's see, we got some more. Giving number 1 the old mix-up. Oh yeah, he's learning as he fights. Yeah, definitely, that's exactly what that's the sign Vegeta said when he fought Broly. He's learning as he fights. So, like, yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing out of here. Majin Duu proving to be a prodigy. And then there you see Vegeta. Our boy Vegeta is warming up, basically getting ready. And there you see, we get a look at Tamagami's kicks, and then we get a look at his legs, and then there we go. Tamagami 2 looking like he is not ready to be anybody to mess with him. And Panzy right here, because she don't know, she's like, is Vegeta even going to be able to hang with this thing? She says, surely he's not as strong as Goku. Oh, and Bulma, aka Bulma, sticking up for her man, says, oh no, Vegeta's got this. Yeah, because she doesn't know. It's time that Vegeta's just smiling here, because it's time that Panzy gonna have to recognize and sit back and learn what Vegeta is all about. And so there you see Gomah basically paying very close attention to Demon Realm 2. And I thought this was hilarious here. Degesu's like, don't worry, the spiky hair kid's not fighting him, so this should be easy. And then Gomah was like, they're both spiky hair. So that was really good. Phantom Flame in the chat says, although the most unorthodox way possible. Yeah, they both, all these Boos, and that was the whole thing about Majin Buu that made him he was so strong, but he always had a very unorthodox way of fighting. And so here we go. We about to get it on. Vegeta versus Tamagami 2. I know, a fight we've all been waiting for. And so Vegeta, oh boy, y'all know, of course, we can't have some Vegeta battles without some good old-fashioned roasting, right? So Vegeta comes in and he's like, hey, I'm ready to fight for the Dragon Balls. Fight me now. And so Tamagami 2 hits him with what's this? You're just a child. Stop joking. Go home and suckle on your mommy's teat. Oh, I'm like, dang. I'm like, okay, he's not playing. And so Vegeta goes basically like, oh, you're going to regret that once the fight starts. Dang, throwing haymakers and bombs verbally right off the bat. Oh my gosh, dude, I wonder, why is he so hostile? From my understanding, hardly anybody comes to the Demon Realm 2 because it's not really that livable. In fact, I mean, who wants to live in a world where you can get swallowed up by these giant fish all over the area? Like, you land off of one of these islands, you don't have a ship, you're done for. So it's like, he feel like he's been annoyed. I would think that Tamagami 3's had more fights than he's had over the years. So yeah, but what's interesting here, Tamagami 2 gets respect for Vegeta's comeback there, because he's like, okay, kid's got some spark. And then he looks over and he notices Neva, who basically, you know, yells, it says hi, because he of course was the one that created the Tamagamis. And so from here, Neva, after seeing Neva, Tamagami 2 is quick to apologize and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were actually for real. You were a serious challenger. Let's do battle. And so right there, he starts taking his whole, and this is cool, he has like a scythe. He's like, Boom, ready. But that ain't gonna intimidate Vegeta. He's like ready to go. He's like, let's go. And Vegeta right off the bat. And man, let's give some shout outs to these animations because whoo, this fight's animation was some good stuff here. Let me see, who was the animation staff for this episode? So the chief animator director was Takio Ida, and the animation assistant directors, I guess, was Koji Watanabe and Hiromi Ishigami. Sorry once again if I butcher those names, but they did a tremendous job, I think, with the entire animation staff for this episode, because boy does it get real from here. So we get a close-up quick shot of Vegeta. The camera pans out from Vegeta and he shoots his ki. Look at the line work, look at the amazing animation. Oh my gosh, Vegeta shoots that ki blast right over to Tamagami number 2, and Tamagami 2 is quick to go ahead and say, get that out of here, what you got, what else you got? He flies right towards Vegeta, and both boys are going straight ahead of each other. And he swings that scythe at Vegeta, and boom, Vegeta basically blocks it. And then he blocks another shot with his foot, and look at Vegeta already doing some nice footwork and breakdancing on the scythe right here. And then Vegeta goes for the punch, and then boom, Tamagami 2 ends up going ahead and blocks that. And he starts swinging that thing, and Vegeta, bam, is able to dodge. Whoo! Vegeta's able to dodge that one. He's then going like Vegeta's dodging all of that, and then he's trying to swing this thing, and Vegeta's dodging that. Oh boy, yeah, he's like, what's good now? He said he was gonna make you regret those words. He said Vegeta ain't the one to play with, and so Vegeta basically goes right here. He ends up dodging that quick shot from the scythe, and then he goes in for another scythe, and then boom, Vegeta dodges that one on point, and then there you go. Tamagami 2 realizing, okay, he ain't dealing with the ordinary jabroni here, because this ain't no jabroni at all. And so he goes in, and Vegeta dodges that, and right here, just amazing animation on point. Vegeta goes ahead, creates some distance, and shoots a ki blast right at Tamagami number 2. Tamagami 2 is able to teleport out of the way, and boom, huge, gorgeous explosion into that water, because man, that would have been a Tamagami had he got hit by that. And there you see Tamagami 2 realizing, like, okay, the boy's got skill. And then he teleports behind him. There does Vegeta. He's going in for a huge kick, and right there, Tamagami is able to teleport out of the way. But Vegeta's gonna keep going ahead, shoots another ki blast. Tamagami 2 gets out of the way, and now Vegeta does his signature in the anime, the whole ki blast spamming volley. And then Tamagami 2 is just like flying all over. It's like yoink, yoink, boom. Let me go ahead and hit that with my foot and blow that up. Boom, let me blow this one up with my scythe. So he's just letting Vegeta know that, yeah, your little tricks are not gonna work on me. So Tamagami 2 basically making a beeline right for Vegeta, and when those eyes get glowing, we know the Tamagami are serious when those red eyes start glowing. And so he's going right towards Vegeta, and there you see Vegeta for the first time in the fight is off guard. And then right here, boom, we see all this cool effects. Tamagami 2's got something big planned for Vegeta here. He goes in for a kick, and Vegeta almost nearly, boom, is able to evade it, and he has to create some distance. And then Vegeta comes back with his own, because he ain't gonna back down. Vegeta comes in and he evades the Tamagami's goes hit. He teleports away, teleports from behind him, and then Vegeta's gonna try to get some shot on him. He's flying towards him, he's flying closer. Is Vegeta gonna land? Is Vegeta gonna land? He gets right face to face, and boom, lands Tamagami 2 right on the face, and then boom, hits him with another combo. Boom with the left, boom with another right, boom, kick into the face. I'm like, oh, Vegeta was just like boom, 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 going ham on Tamagami 2's body here, and bam, smack him with his foot, bam, kick to the throat, bam, another punch to the face, bam, to the forehead. Vegeta all over Tamagami 2. He's got no answer. Boom, right to the clavicle, boom, right to the chest, boom, right to the shoulder. Vegeta, oh, I was like, yo, Vegeta going ham. Like, that's what we love about Vegeta. Oh, waiting for that opening. Tamagami 2 just cannot do anything with Vegeta in this onslaught. Oh man, and Vegeta goes in for the ki blast at close range, and then from there, Tamagami is like, oh, and you see Vegeta right there. He's like, oh, I ain't playing with you yet. Let's go. We just getting started, boy. And my gosh, how sick was the animation, the line work, beautiful artwork, beautiful animation team on point for this shot with Vegeta. I had to use it as the thumbnail for this live stream. And he goes ahead and he shoots that ki blast right at Tamagami number 2, and he lands that thing, and you see the shock, the utter shock on Gomah. Oh! Because what he thought it was, like I said, he thought literally turning these guys into kids was going to make them weaker. These were the people that concocted the finish to destroy Majin Buu. Like, man, and they've only been training. I love when these villains don't be doing their research, man. It's just like Dr. Garo, aka Dr. Gero. Man, let me see what some of the chat is saying here. Although the most, let's see, I'm surprised Vegeta held back while someone was pushing the Goku button. Yeah, I mean, that shows how much Vegeta has grown, because a year before this, you know, that's when he said, "You Kakarot are number one." You know, he finally became at peace with Goku. Tamagami number 2 out here gliding gracefully. Yeah, definitely, but so is Vegeta. Gomah knows without that eye, he's done. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me take a little break here. All right, so there you go. Boomra, aka Bulma, knowing her man, she knows how hard Vegeta works. That's all he does is train. And Panzy right there with the, oh boy, I recognize now, I spoke too soon look on her face. And Glorio right there, he's like, I'm like, there's another one too? Like, man, like Glorio realizing like, holy crap, these Saiyajins are on another level. And so right here in the smoke, we get a shadowy figure. It's Tamagami 2, and bro is living. Look at that. For the first time, he's like, bro, you mad? That's why I was looking at this scene like, you mad, bro? Vegeta made you mad? And he's like, oh! He is livid. That's what Vegeta does. So he comes in straight over at Vegeta, and then he goes ahead and tries to swing that scythe at Vegeta, and boom, Vegeta block your stuff, and swings it away, says, try and get me again. Come on, Vegeta's like, let's go. And then he tries to go ahead with another swift of that scythe. I gotta admit, that scythe looks super awesome. He goes ahead and swings it to Vegeta, and boom, Vegeta blocks it, and swishes stuff away, says, come on, you got more, let's go. And so he goes ahead and he keeps swinging, and Vegeta's blocking this thing and just swooping it away. Let's go. What's up? That's 3 times. Come on, 3 ain't the charm for you. I was loving this part, man. Vegeta right here taking the block. Boom, swifting away. Look at this. Look at my boy Vegeta. Look at that. It's like it's gonna take more than that to beat me. Boom, he comes back with another shot. He's like, that's 5 times, bro. 5 times, like Booker T. 5 times. 5 times. He can go ahead and sweep your stuff away. And then he goes in trying to do a big, massive one, and boom, Vegeta blocking all his stuff. And right there, boy, Vegeta's like, okay, I took 6 of those, and I'm still standing. No respect. He's giving you the no respect face. He wants to let you know how much he respects your scythe swinging abilities. And so right here, Tamagami 2 looking annoyed now. He got to do something because Vegeta is outclassing him. And so he starts swinging. And then right there, you see right there, he swings this, and I guess he did something. He must have went in for the 7th try, and I'm gonna assume that was by no accident, obviously, 7 Dragon Balls. So he goes in for the 7th try, and at this point, Vegeta has earned the respect, because he's like, oh, and then boom, whacks Vegeta in the face with a scythe, and we get blood. A long time since we've seen blood in a Dragon Ball series, you know, especially because when they had to put it on Fuji TV at an earlier time frame, as opposed to a later time frame where they could, you know, have blood gushing out. So now he's drawn blood. At this point, Tamagami 2 is like, okay, do I earn your respect now? And then we cut back to the Majin Duu, and he's coming towards Tamagami. You talk about earning respect, ladies and gentlemen. It's clear here that Tamagami 1 has certainly earned some respect for the unorthodox ability of Majin Duu, because Majin Duu, he ends up going ahead, teleporting over, and what's he gonna hit him? Another wrestling classic, the Banzai Drop. Used by the late great Yokozuna, Rikishi, and now Nia Jax in WWE. Man's been hidden, he's been brushing up on his Samoan wrestling, breaking out rear views and bonsai drops and stuff. He knows his Anawadi history family. Man, does the bonsai drop and then bounces off Tamagami number 1. And look at this. Look how flustered Tamagami 1 is. He's looking this way, don't even know that Majin Duu is right there. And boom, he goes for a punch, and while it's really cool that Tamagami was able to kind of do like a little weak brush off before getting punched, man, he's trying his best to avoid these punches, but he is like completely complex. Like he looks like a deer in the headlights, and he shoots this big ki blast, and Majin Duu sees this, and he's able to now he's mastered how to dodge with his head now, going in and out. So that was really cool to see. And then he basically comes right back onto the attack, and he hits him. Oh boy, you talk about another wrestling move. He breaks out the X-Pac Bronco Buster. The Bronco Buster, and man, like dude's face is all in his crotch, and he's just basically like, and like he is suffocating Tamagami 1, and Tamagami 1, he's got no answer. He doesn't even try to stab him. He's just trying to pull him off, and he's like, and he's like, he can't get him off and everything, and finally he does. Like, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's a good thing it looks like Tamagami 1 does not have a nose, because his face was all buried in there. And so he swings him, and even that, it wasn't clean. Like that was like Tamagami 1 not looking smooth like he did in his fight with Majin Buu. And so there you see, he tries to swing his blade over to Majin Duu, and you see his teeth are grinning, his eyes are glowing red. Like Tamagami 1 is getting serious here, and he goes for the head, and once again falls for it again. Majin Duu has mastered putting that head in, tucking that head in, and basically once he swung that thing wild, he's given his back. He is giving his back up to Majin Duu, and just so that Majin Duu can understand that how much he's got Tamagami 1 outclassed here, this man has time to go ahead and just basically swing around his abdomen, just completely do a 360 again, over and again, and Tamagami 1 had no answer for it. Tamagami 1 had no answer for that, and then he goes ahead and he gets shot in the back with the green blast. Obviously, if you play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, you all know about this way too often if you end up giving your back up to your opponent. And so there you see Tamagami 1, he just takes the blast. There's nothing he can do. He gets sent basically closer to the camera, and look at his face. He's like, I'm like, wow. And we know Tamagami 1 is the #1 most powerful Tamagami. So, I mean, tremendous job. Look at them. They got it. And Dr. Rinsu, she was right to make sure, because right now, Majin Duu is proving out to be the real freaking deal. And there you see Majin Buu is just marking out for his brother Duu, basically marking out being a term used for wrestlers fans when hardcore wrestling fans are just so super happy to see some of their favorite wrestlers and everything. I mean, honestly, I do it as well when it comes to Dragon Ball. I mark out over this stuff. Obviously, you guys see my streams here. And so we get back to Vegeta versus Tamagami 2, and now Vegeta, he's got that smirk off his face. He's got blood coming down under his eye, and this shot right here, he goes in for this awesome ki blast. Look how beautiful, gorgeous the animation is, and he shoots that ki blast straight towards it goes from one ki blast into multiple, and Tamagami 2 basically, he sees that he got to Vegeta, and now he's gracefully dodging all of the ki blasts. He comes in with another scythe shot, and he throws this blue ki blast, and he throws a second blue ki blast after with the scythe shot, and it comes towards Vegeta, and Vegeta basically is trying his best to hold this thing back, and you see the struggle. Vegeta is now struggling here, and boom, this thing sends Vegeta flying, and Vegeta just gets he ends up spiraling like, oh, boom, into the water. So Tamagami 2 has read Vegeta's attack, and it's becoming clear here that, okay, as we figured, the Tamagami are too much for the base forms. It's time for Vegeta to go SS1. And so Vegeta goes deep into the ocean here, and once again, very great animation. So Vegeta's in the water here, holding his breath, and of course, we already know, as Glorio stated, they are everywhere. And there you see the Shaohui figure, and there it is. I think, what were they called again? The Karakens, I think. Yeah, the Karakens, if I said that right. They basically come in, and he's ready to eat Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, oh, and the water and stuff. And basically, this is where it gets really intense because they see the tentacles, and Nahare is completely like, oh snap, the Karakens are here. And you see this thing, he's like, time to eat. And then boom, what he does, he doesn't actually try to grab him, he ends up trying to suck Vegeta into the water, and Vegeta's trying to swim back, but he can't. Vegeta ends up getting sucked into this thing's mouth nearly, and Vegeta's trying his best not to get void. So I mean, you're trying to fight this stream, you're trying to hold your breath, and you've got a big powerful foe waiting for you on the surface. So I mean, this is not a good situation to be in at all. And Vegeta is trying his best, and he ends up basically exploding his ki and flies up through the surface out, getting himself some much needed breath. But to show you just how much Vegeta is off his game here, you see Tamagami 2 waiting for him. He's like, yeah, I was waiting for you to surface. And so he goes ahead for another shot. Vegeta not even paying attention. He is so concerned about making sure he gets away from that Karaken, is that when he basically lands nearly in front of Tamagami 2, he's like, ugh, and boom, gets it right in the cheek. Oh, point blank shot from the Tamagami 2's scythe, man, and that sends Vegeta flying into the sky. And then the Karaken jumps out of the water and boom, grabs Vegeta, swallows him whole. Oh yeah, he's about to go ahead and boom, swallows him whole. You see Son Goku's like, oh, never. Piccolo, Hibiscus, Panzy, Nahare, aka the East Kaioshin, aka the Supreme Kai, Glorio, and especially his wife, Bulma, aka Boma, absolutely shocked. Like, I mean, as a spouse, that's gotta be awful to witness your spouse being swallowed whole by a big giant sea creature like that. And yeah, he has swallowed Vegeta and goes back into the water. And at this point, as the water as he goes back into the water here, I'm like, all right, Vegeta, I was literally at my TV screen watching this. I was like, give us that Super Saiyajin energy, SS1, come on, Vegeta, let's go, SS1, you got this. I'm like, go ahead and explode right out this thing. And the screen cuts to black and the ending credits roll. I'm like, oh, what an awesome cliffhanger. I'm like, man, I can't wait. I gotta wait a whole another 7 days, and that's something that I can say that Dragon Ball DAIMA has yet to do. It hasn't made me wonder what the heck is gonna happen. Like, I'm like, okay, it'll kind of be another little, slower pace episode, which I don't mind, but we won't see anything more interesting that moves the plot along until probably later on. But this one's got me on the edge of my seats. I'm like, come on. I'm like, I gotta believe Vegeta's gonna go SS1 and blow that right out of this thing. I refuse to believe that these Karakens are that much stronger than Son Goku and Vegeta. So we get to the next episode preview, and I'm guessing this is like Vegeta's at the bottom of the ocean sea, knocked out, or he's either inside the Karaken, and we're gonna see him power out of this. So here we get our next tease of Son Goku is gonna face the Karaken, and like I said, I think this is them trying to make it look like it's over for Vegeta, but obviously I think Vegeta's gonna go SS1 and power out of this thing basically. And then from here, we continue the battle with Majin Buu against Tamagami 1, who comes at his forearm, and right there you see Tamagami 1 is once again still struggling, cannot land, constantly falling for Majin Duu's attack, where tricks where he basically bends his head into the ground, into his stomach. And once again, the unorthodox approach and power of Majin Duu is just too much for Tamagami 1, for it seems. And there you see whatever is going on in this fight with the Tamagami 2, Gomah is getting super angry, so we see that here. And what's very interesting, Tamagami 1 looks roughed up here. He's got some battle damage, but then his eyes start glowing orange. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen their eyes glow red. We haven't seen his eye glow orange, and he starts heating up, and now he starts turning orange, and I'm like, oh. And I kind of figured this. I'm like, okay, I like the little plot twist here. We haven't seen the full power yet of Tamagami 1, so I do not believe he's out of this yet. He might indeed show that there's a lot more left for Majin Duu coming up. And so So that's where our cliffhanger ends in our next episode preview. Overall, I love this episode. I thought it was phenomenal. The pacing is definitely picked up in Dragon Ball DAIMA. I love the cutbacks. I love that we've got two, like I said, it feels like it's this whole entity, this whole war. You've got 3 different factions. It's faction warfare for the Dragon Balls, and I'm here for it. I am absolutely loving it. So let me go ahead to the chat and see what's up here. Okay, just from earlier what Phantom Flame said, Gomah knows without that eye he's done. Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes into play, because I think Hibiscus has that eye and everything, so it's gonna be very interesting to say. But hey, that being said, hey, Charles and Phantom, thank you so much for coming out into the stream, and thank you for everybody who is watching this live or even on demand. And you can watch more of my Dragon Ball content right there on the screen, and make sure to follow me on my social media platforms. Links are all going to be in the description and pinned comment below. Until episode 12, take care.